Hello YouTube. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why you, as a bodybuilder or as something who cares about looks and aesthetics, should care about strength. Now, if you've watched my previous videos, you've heard me say that strength doesn't correlate to size. And in a sense, it's true. You can have two people with different leg sizes. It will not mean that the person with the bigger legs has the bigger squat. But strength as a natural bodybuilder will be the most objective value on which you can program and on which you can basically assess your progress. Of course, the most objective value of all is body measurements. And the most valuable subjective of all is going to be looks, how you look in the mirror. That's what's going to trump all of the rest. But when it comes to hard maths and straight facts, basing your work and exercises around strength and the way you move is going to help you focus on something that's tangible. Now, does it mean that you have to be obsessed about hitting new numbers and pushing your squat, your deadlift, your bench, every single lift further and further? No. But you should always keep in mind that progression on your lifts will equal progression for your muscles. So, how do you work around that? How do you not fall into the ideology of a powerlifter, for example, who's only going to be thinking about strength? Well, think about strength as a byproduct of muscle hypertrophy. If you get your easy bar curls strict from 60 pounds to 100 pounds for 6 reps, your biceps are going to grow. This is basically as objective and as certain as it gets, so that your entire program can be tailored around that. You can have a certain amount of lifts for a certain body part, and you can assess progress depending on your strength gains. For certain individuals, you're going to make faster strength gains than you do size gains, but there is no way someone can gain a large percentage of strength on a lift and make no muscle adaptation. It's just biologically impossible. So no matter your size, no matter how your body responds to weight training, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you should be caring about strength in that regard. Now, I will be making more videos about how to put your programs together to make sure that you always utilize certain lifts to open the training, and then follow up with more volume and rep ranges that are going to be less focused on pure strength work. That being said, you also need to keep in mind as a bodybuilder that strength is not only found in low rep ranges. If you're strong doing 20 reps, you're going to be strong doing 10 reps, you're going to be strong doing 5 reps. The principle of specificity applies, meaning that if you never practice or train lower rep ranges, you're not going to be as comfortable. And it's the same the other way around. For me, because I only do high reps, I'm not as comfortable doing low reps. And so if you plug my 8 rep max in a calculator, it's going to give you a 1 rep max that I would not be able to hit. And it's the same for people who focus on lower reps. A guy that can do 500 on the deadlift once, if he's only trained in that rep range, if you plug it and you make the correct equation and go back to his 5 rep max, he might not be able to hit that 5 rep max. So this also is going to depend based on your training and based on the type of muscle fiber that you naturally possess. I know that for me, I've always been really good at higher rep ranges. My strength develops itself much better when I can rep a weight, and it's not as good when I have to do an explosive 1 rep max, but we're all different in that regard. So if you hear bodybuilders telling you, oh, don't worry about strength, don't worry about the weight, just focus on the feeling. There is some truth to that, but there is a strong chance also that either these people don't understand the way the body works naturally, or that they don't realize that they apply progressive overload without knowing it, because progressive overload can be putting more weight on the bar, but it can also be reducing the rest in between sets. It can also be slowing down the tempo of the rep. It can be supersetting the rep with something else. All of these are progression. They work together. And also disregard or try to not mind too much people who are on the opposite side of the spectrum and tell you you should only be caring about strength and therefore you should only be caring about big lifts. As bodybuilders, what we care about is not the weight on the bar, is what the weight on the bar does to our muscles. I said it before, if I could get big legs squatting 2 plates, I would squat 2 plates. I just realized that there is a certain threshold where that weight is not going to be taxing anymore, and it's not going to be something that's going to stimulate my muscles. Keep also in mind that I will talk about that more in other videos. You as a bodybuilder should do both lower rep ranges and higher rep ranges. What does that mean? What does that for? It depends on what you like. I personally never do 1 rep maxes. I never do doubles. I never do triples on certain lifts. But if you feel comfortable doing that and you feel like it pushes yourself, do it. I personally never do more than 15 reps. But if you like doing 20s or 30s or 50 reps, do it. It's all a matter of personal preferences. But what is not up to consideration or debate is you need both. Why? Because getting your 10 rep max on a variation of the bench is going to raise your 4 rep max on the bench and vice versa. If you stick to only one of these two, you're going to be very specific in that rep range, but when you stall, you're going to stall hard, and pushing the weight on this rep range is not going to help you. Having the two of them is going to stimulate each other, and it's true also for a lot of bodybuilders who only do high rep ranges. Yes, it's good because you move more tonnage and you get more pounds at the end of the session, but that progression, that stimulus is going to run stale eventually. You need something to shock your muscles, and moving more weight on a smaller rep range can do that for you. And you will find afterwards that when you come back to the higher rep ranges, you can push more weight, and you can push more weight for more reps, which at the end of the day adds more tonnage to your training session, builds more volume, and is going to make your muscles grow bigger. So this is the ideology I have on this channel. I will sometimes talk about strength, but you know that for me, strength is not the end all be all. I don't want to reach numbers just to reach numbers. I want to reach them to help my body grow. That was how I think as a natural bodybuilder. And I believe that if you are like me and you want to grow your muscles, no matter what goal you might have, you will have to embrace a similar type of mentality, because it's what's going to allow you to have the highest and widest scope for your training, which is going to prevent plateaus, mental burnouts, and make you grow consistently. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.